Welcome to this special Thanksgiving edition of Man360. I'm your host, Brian. Today on the program, we'll do a recap of the season so far, a little sneak peek of what's coming up, and our seasonal blooper reel, including extended scenes from our Things Brian Doesn't Want to Do dance segment with Sean B. I will also share a few thoughts about not just being thankful on Thanksgiving, but making thankfulness a lifestyle. I'm glad you're here. Let's get started. Welcome to Man360. Yeah, so, and we know the word truth, even, that's become kind of a relative term for people, what is truth? And that's taken such a beating in our culture, I think, is just really the bottom line. Yeah. So how do you encourage men to live godly truth in their lives and really live that and do that in Christ's love?
Man, you're really right. I mean, it's an interesting thing. Sometimes when we're Christians, so when we're like, we have to train people to believe the truth, well, we know what we mean.
Right.
We mean the truth as the Bible tells us how to live.
Right.
But what I think I would start with people is just to say, first of all, recognize, as you said, that truth is taking a beating. We're living in a culture that doesn't believe it. We don't even mean that they don't believe that Jesus is the Son of God.
Right, right.
They don't believe there is an objective reality, an objective truth. That is the eternal truth. It is real. It is true. And that is why normal people are like, they listen to like an interview on the news,
right? And
somebody's like, I just told her she had to share her truth,
her truth,
and so people are kind of like, why are they saying things like her truth?
Right.
And what this comes down to is a disbelief that there is objective reality. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying it for a few years, but for normal people that go, I don't know, are you really serious that people don't believe in objective reality? We say, yeah, that's what the trans ideology is all about.
Yeah.
The idea is that this physical reality, we could never know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
The only way we can define something is from the way that I feel and my inside and myself. So if I say, I am a woman, then it is objectively real because there's no actual reality.
Right.
So that's where it comes from. So I encourage men, first of all, to understand the times, understand the culture we are in, and then you can combat it by saying Jesus is the truth.
Right.
And if Jesus is the truth, that means that he will explain reality to me. That's a wonderful thing.
What would you speak to parents or talk to parents about in our current culture and what we're dealing with right now? What would you tell them about as far as making them aware of things that their teens and their kids are dealing with that maybe they aren't aware of?
Well, I do like pointing out that there is no difference in human nature from when they were kids and their kids are kids. So nothing's changed. The culture around them has changed. But the same psychological elements at work in a temper tantrum 2-year-old toddler are also at work in them when they don't get their way. So I always say model good mental health. And which is the greatest form of education, is demonstration.
Yeah.
Model good mental health in the culture that we live in. And that is very practically like perfectionism. Perfectionism is a terrible way to live. You're demanding that things are just so. And if you could say yes to the mess and make sure that your child can be okay with a little disorder and doesn't always have to have things just perfectly, you'll avoid some of these psychological damage. The other thing is approval addiction. Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? I mean, adults struggle with that. Kids struggle with that. Our grandparents struggled with that.
Wow.
And so if we could help them not be perfectionists and not be approval addicts, they'll be, I think, better adjusted with the same problems that are attacking them in this culture today.
Yeah. And I do think, too, we're also talking about, again, who you are, what you do in creativity, and really getting the best out of people in ministry and who you consult and talk to and connect with. I know you just wrote a new book as well about creativity. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's interesting that God has a lot of attributes,
Yeah.
but he chose to introduce himself in the first verse of the Bible as a creator.
Yeah.
And we're made in his image, and I think that gives us a high bar, and we better learn to be more creative in the
Yeah.
way we share the gospel. And so I wrote ideas on a deadline because I live, like you, in a television world,
Yeah.
and deadlines are all I've ever known. I don't get to sit on the back porch and wait till the idea gods drop something on me.
Right.
I have to hit a deadline by Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I realized there's no book, nobody's ever written a book on how to be creative when you're under pressure.
Yeah.
And so I wrote ideas on a deadline, how to be creative when the clock is ticking, focused on that. And the truth is, one of the things I discovered in the research for the book is there's no people on earth that are born not creative. Let me say it better. A lot of people will come up to me and say, well, Phil, I like all that creative stuff you talk about, but I was never born creative. I'm not very creative. Let me tell you, there's no research that indicates that. We're all born on an equal platform. Everybody can be as creative as they want to be.
Yeah.
It really is like a muscle. If you use it,
Yeah.
you can grow. If you don't, so every housewife, every lawyer, every accountant, everybody could be more creative
Yeah.
if they just start thinking that way.
You can stack these as high as you want, and then you can do this. Hold your shoes. They make these also in darker colors or in black or gray. I like clear so that I can have this and I can just look down. I can see, there's my shoes there, and be able to pull them out. Keeps them safe, keeps dust off of them, keeps dirt off of them. I also keep all of my boxes. So if you want to be like a shoe collector, it's also important that you keep your boxes. I know that sounds kind of weird, but if you ever want to resell them or you want to gift them to somebody else, you have the box to be able to give with them. I do want to show you one more thing. I do have a pair of shoes that, on these Bapestas, let me show you real quick here. So if you have an issue with your tongue of your shoe kind of ending up folded to the side like that if you're walking around, I saw this online, it was amazing. So you have a loop in the middle of your shoe, and I'll hold this up and show you real quick, where you normally would put the center of the two laces, and you just continue, this lace would go this way and this lace would go this way. So normally you're like this, but what you do is you stop, you go up through that. Before you pull it through the holes, you just take that and you go back against whatever side to hold that. So since this is a left shoe for me, I'm gonna go further this way. I'm gonna tighten up the lace, and then I'm gonna put it through the hole, and then when I'm walking with this, the lace holds and keeps the tongue in place for you when you're walking around. And again, if you have athletics or things like that, obviously with a shoe like this, that's the Asics Gel Light 3, you don't have to worry about that. So if you like a shoe, you're just like, I would love to have a pair of sneakers, but I don't want to deal with the tongue, the Gel Light 3 is a great shoe. And they make these shoes, pretty much all these shoes, in like every color or any color you can think of. A lot of these shoes too, some of the ones like my What the 4s, and some of those, you have to buy them on the secondhand market or eBay. So there's people that buy them up and they resell them. Normally, if you try to get them after they release, within about a month, you can still get a pretty good deal on them. Maybe you're going to pay maybe $30 or $40 more for the shoe than the cost of what it would be. But it can get very, very expensive. So as you can see, shoes are something else that I love collecting. From Nike to New Balance to Puma to Asics and even my custom Indigo Studio Bapestas. There are all kinds of looks and styles for you to collect and enjoy. I also hope you like hearing about ways you can add a custom look to your shoes by simply ordering new laces and a little behind the scenes information about the sneaker subculture. If you have some shoes that you want us to see, head on over to our Facebook page and share them with us. So Andrew, you were talking about, I mentioned it in the interview, this bike is your favorite bike. There's other bikes in here I like more, probably just me personal style-wise, but you love this bike. Just share with me about what you love about it and what's maybe more custom from what people would normally see on a bike like this.
Okay, so this bike is a 78.5 shovel head It's got sentimental value to me because it belonged to one of my uncles who worked on. He had it for 37 years. So if you saw this bike originally, it was completely different. It had a big fairing on it. It was like a touring bike. Had big bags back here, and every single thing has been customized on it. There's a lot of specialty pieces. The original Tombstone tail light, some of the fender tips, even the ignition is from an old World War II military bike.
Oh, wow.
It's only kickstart. There's no electric start on this anymore.
Old school,
so,
yeah.
It is. I like the tall bars on it. They're really fun to ride. It has what some people call a suicide shifter, a jockey shifter. So
why would they call it a suicide shifter? Obviously, it has some connotation to danger, right?
Yeah, it's because of the way that it used to be set up with these controls right here. This is a really old tank, so they used to. This is where you used to shift right here.
4, 3, 2, neutral, and 1.
And there was a. If you didn't do it exactly right, you were at a stoplight. What would happen is it would engage into gear, and it could push you out into traffic if you weren't proficient at riding it. So that's why they called it a suicide shifter.
Wow.
Now this one is dialed in really, really good, but it has an open outer primary on
saw
it.
that.
Just every single thing is custom and from old motorcycles, and it's super fun to ride. It's maybe, if you're getting at 80 or 90 miles an hour on this, it feels like you're going 150 miles an hour on a new motorcycle.
Is it just because of like the geometrics and just the shape of the bike too? It just is bigger?
And
just
the power,
control?
the motor, because it's got built up cams in it, everything. Like if you look at the engine case, is all polished, so it's all taken apart and polished.
Wow.
Every piece of the cast aluminum is polished. It's the loudest bike I have. By far. It's also one of those, when you see somebody broken down on the side of it, this would be the bike that, you have to work.
They just give you like a head nod when they ride by. They're like, yeah.
You keep the tool bag on this one.
Back on the back
there.
there.
Because you're definitely going to need it.
That's awesome.
And just every piece on here, a lot of these are from the 50s. Some of these pieces are even older Harleys. And
wow.
If I sold all my bikes, this is the one I would not sell.
Would keep. Yeah.
I wouldn't take it across the country, but it's awesome to ride.
You'd take it like to
street.
Arvada, but like South Arvada, but you wouldn't take it to like California.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks, Andrew, for sharing your bike with us.
All right,
yeah,
man.
That's great. entrance of the bamboo forest, and basically when you walk off of the bridge, it is completely soundproof in this part of the forest. Now also, I always travel with some kind of a backpack when, no matter where I am. I found this great backpack by Thule, or Tool, T-H-U-L-E. One thing I like to do is always have an open pouch on my backpack that I can put my phone and my wallet when I go through security. So sometimes you're fumbling around, try to take your watch off, all those things, you know, doing the searching that they do for TSA. This has an amazing little sunglass holder. Basically, it's felt lined. You can put your phone in here. You can put your, again, I have other pair of reading glasses that I put in here as well. It's great. This has some great compartments in it. The one thing I also consider is I always bring my iPad, normally when I bring my laptop, so this has an iPad holder in it as well, where you can put your iPad. And the other thing too is always bringing water with you when you travel. And you're like, Brian, I'm not really a very big like water person necessarily, but it's really important that you do drink water when you're flying. So I have a little water bottle here. This one has 2 water bottle pouches on it. Sometimes just depending on the size of the pack, you have to consider that as well. One thing I did want to mention as well is this little handle that I got. It is a little Velcro piece with neoprene. So what I do is if I have a rolling, my carry-on with me and I have my backpack, it's falling all over. I found these on Amazon. I think I got 3 of them. I gave one to Yolanda. We have an extra one that can wrap around the top of most backpacks, have this top handle, and you can put those on your carry-on as well, so you can roll those around the airport so your backpack isn't falling over if you don't want to have it on your back when you're traveling. So back to the water here. So again, it's very important to drink water when you're flying. I read some studies that say that your body loses about 8 ounces of water just from breathing on an airplane. So, and that's at altitude. So when you're at altitude, it does different things to your body. So you have to consider you're always drinking water. So when you bring your water and you're like, but I have to go buy, you know, like a $15 bottle of water at the airport. Now, that's not always true. A lot of airports have what's called a water filtration system where you can fill up. Now, this is not a toilet water necessarily. It is actual water, not just a normal fountain, but they do like a filtration system, and it has a little number or a little color code on the top of it that shows you if the filter's still good. And Yolanda and I always do that. They're normally located at kind of the hubs of airports or terminals where you can go refill your water. And so you're always bringing your water with you when you travel. So again, these are just a few things, just a few ideas for travel to help you, again, with a tip and trick. If you have a tip or trick about travel that you want to contact us about, please connect us on Facebook or Instagram and let us know some ideas that you might have. So today's Thanksgiving, and it's a wonderful time to do things like going around the dinner table and sharing about what we're grateful for. The issue can be that if that's the only time you exercise thankfulness. The verb definition of the word exercise means to use or apply a faculty, right, or process. The question is what exercise is happening around your home when it comes to thankfulness. The things that get exercised grow stronger, and it grows in a family. A couple of quick things to implement more often than just days like today are fairly simple but super effective. How about creating a thankfulness jar with your family? When someone does something that's worthy of being thanked, the person's name and what they did is placed in the jar. These are collected all year, and then on special occasions or holidays, you take those reminders from the jar and read them to the family. The other thing this can do is it can maybe be the element of showing thankfulness, or maybe that thankfulness is missing from your family and can highlight the need for a greater focus on being thankful. So if that jar is empty, you know that there maybe hasn't been enough of either people saying they're thankful or people recording those things for the family. Maybe how about something as simple as thanking someone for something they did for you? I know for me that I always thank Yolanda for cooking dinner or doing the laundry. Things that we would need to have anyways, but being quick to thank sets your mind and heart to see the best in a person. Maybe it's thanking someone for holding the door for you, or even thanking a person that you see that's serving in our military and appreciating their service to our country. When we set our minds on thankfulness, we provide the opportunity for God to move and do things in our lives that we could never dream. Don't let days like Thanksgiving be the solitary event of thankfulness, but work on developing a lifestyle of thankfulness. It will cause you to see things in a different light and give God an opportunity to not only work in you, but also your entire family. Let's do our 360-degree review of today's program. As you can see, this program is not just about interesting interviews or teaching from the Bible. It's also about travel, all kinds of tips and tricks, hobbies, and even a comedic section of things I would rather not do. I hope you took to heart what I shared about Thanksgiving not just being a seasonal time to appreciate your life. To think about practical ways for your family to live a life of gratefulness and express thankfulness all year is very important. Yolanda and I are thankful for you all as viewers of this program. Thank you for taking time out of your life to watch what we have been up to and be encouraged or maybe challenged in your walk with God. Make time for thankfulness this coming year, and I believe that you will see God do amazing things through a heart and lifestyle of gratitude. This program exists for men to be complete in every way through Christ, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Yolanda and I pray for you and your family to have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week, right here on Man360.
This is not just for TV. I do not dance. Any of that?
Yeah.
You want to add that to your album? Okay.
So just pretend like you're singing the song. Watermelon, 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 watermelon.
I'll do that. That's
Watermelon,
good.
that's
I like
it.
that.
Cantaloupe, watermelon, cantaloupe. Watermelon, cantaloupe, watermelon, cantaloupe. Watermelon, cantaloupe, watermelon, cantaloupe. Fruit, 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 fruit.
Okay, sorry. God's holy
All right.
fruit. Sorry.
You know, like
Sorry.
in Sunday school, like the fruits of the Spirit.
Yes.
That should be like today.
Dude,
like,
we should
God's
redo
holy
it. We'll
fruit,
recite
fruit,
it.
fruit,
God's
God's
holy fruit, fruit, fruit. What's a watermelon of the Spirit? What's a cantaloupe of the Spirit? Peach, 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 strawberry, strawberry, blueberry, blueberry, blueberry,
Drop it.
blueberry.
Bong, 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 bong.
This is why I don't dance.
This is exactly
This
why
is
you
not.
don't dance.
This is not a performance. This is not being able to dance.
Legitimately try though.
Are you kidding? I'm legitimately trying.
I don't believe you.
Listen to me. When I do the opener of this,
You-
I'm going to say, I'm telling you right now, this is not for movie magic. I am literally trying, and I cannot do this.
Sean, can you just practice that foot thing because
Yeah.
you weren't watching the overcross?
Come on! I'm ready for the tour!
I know you're riding my story. You got big plans for me, and it's all for your glory.
And just take.
This is
use
not a Man360 size spoon.
Use your fingers. It's okay. Pick the whole thing up. Just season the fries.
Okay. Sorry, I
Get
licked
it
my,
on there.
I think I licked my pinky, so it's okay. Let me get some. So, Man360 outdoor segment, Blade Extremes, take one. Thanks. Take a look around. Stop coughing, clear your throat. Take a look around your house right now. You may not have enough sharp implements of some kind. If you don't, this is the guy to know, Aaron Malone.
What's up, everybody?
Gideon's Tactical. We're going to talk today about the extremes of knife fixed blades and what to choose. So, Aaron, take it away.
Yes. Do you like that setup?
No.
I was like, I'm not digging that setup.
All right. Fixed blades.
Get it out of your system a couple times.
Fixed blades with my buddy Aaron. Take two.
We didn't say extremes.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I heard that now.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to decide which.
Well, you ended on that one, so start on this one.
Okay. I want to make sure this isn't. I don't want to stab you in the
Yeah,
ear.
you're fine. Thanks.
To the massive. I'll do that one more time. I didn't like that. To the massive. I changed my hat, so
Yeah, that's good. You look offensive because it's not blue anymore.
Well, red is like gonna punch somebody in the face, or super seductive.
You want me to sing now for you guys? A mighty fortress. Yes, ma'am. A mighty fortress.
Life is like a butterfly, only just begun.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
With you a very, very Christmas. Glamour shots. Tips and tricks and tips and tricks. Tips and tricks, tips and tricks. Me and my shadow cruising down the avenue. Everybody.
Amen. It's like we're speaking in tongues, break beatboxing.
Basically, it's like hip hop tongues.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't Christians who speak in tongues be able to do beatboxing better than anyone else?
If this,
Nay, I say. Nay, I say. Hallelujah. Is Derek back there? Yeah, that was for you, Derek. I love you. I know. Hey, welcome to Man360. I'm your host, Brian. Today's program has a very informative and insightful interview with my man, evangelist Mike Shreve. Mike was becoming a high-level yoga master, teaching and instructing people in meditative arts.
Honey, I have so much.
Okay, stop it. Holy crap, Finding God's Presence in Your Pain is more than just a book. It's a look inside a very painful time in my life where I almost lost my eye to a disease that doctors could not find the root cause. It drained us financially, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. It's also about an awakening of a relationship with God and realizing that even though I didn't want to hold on to Him in my disease, that He was still holding on to me. It's a known fact that at some point in life, we will all go through a painful circumstance that can be difficult to navigate. Who we are and what we believe will be tested. I know that I didn't really understand who I was until I came to the end of myself, and this book is my story of what I went through and also what I learned in the process. HolyCrapBook.com has also been set up as a resource for you to continue the conversation after you read the book. You can also go there for more information about how to order the book. I'm excited about helping people see that they can find the holy in the crap of their lives.